Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
what car brand you would never buy? Any that charges a subscription to use features like heated seats. Just bought a used Subaru. Was unpleasantly surprised to discover remote start was subscription based. That's a non-starter. Jesus Christ, that is ridiculous. If you want reliability, there's a reason why Civics, Accords, Camrys, and Corollas have been a popular purchase for a long time. Boring as hell, but damned if they don't stay together. It's funny if you look at the used market. For a 10-year-old Camry, Accord, etc. with 100k miles, they're still about 10 grand. Whereas the same age Audi or BMW goes for half that price. I have a 2005 Camry with only about 60,000 miles. Blue Book says it's worth about $1,800, but I'd be hard-pressed to sell for even double that. My 2006 Corolla S has 450k miles and original engine. Digital odometer clocked out at 299,999. What's your secret? Question mark. I got a 125k Corolla and I cry at the thought of ever having to give it up. So far only major repair was the alternator that went out this year. Ferrari and Lamborghini, not because I dislike them but because I'm poor. Was gonna say Bugatti or Koenigsegg cause I'm holding out hope I'll get rich enough for a Ferrari. I'm going to assume if I've never heard of Koenigsegg that means I can't afford one. I'd say Bugatti, because if I had that much cash, I'd go with Koenigsegg. Getting a horse after reading this thread. Nah, they eat and poop even when you're not using them. I read that as, they eat poop, and was trying to figure out what kind of horses you've been having out with. Never buy again. Jeep. I got fucked by electrical gremlins that screwed my powertrain. Techs gave up on it, but not after charging me hours and hours of labor to find nothing. All while under warranty. I cried lemon, FCA laughed. Traded it in at a massive loss. Sad because that Wrangler was pretty awesome, when it worked. I'll probably never buy American again. Did you hire a lemon lawyer? They pay for the lawyer fee too if you win. And lemon lawyers usually review the case before taking it on. They don't take cases they don't win. What is a lemon lawyer? I'm European. Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Worst quality control I've ever witnessed as a quality advisor. You know what the dictionary says about Dodge? To avoid. Never again. Bought a brand new completely decked out Dodge Intrepid S in the year 2000. Remember those mommy missiles? I was still fairly young and it was my first real big car purchase. We paid greater than $28,000 for that car. First 3 months was great. Eventually was happy to sell that POS 10 years later for $500 just to get it out of my sight. Literally every single component on that car was faulty. Steering, brakes, radio, AC, door handles, power windows, and a ton of other stuff. Like I said, never again. Way back in the late 80s, my father bought his first new car. As far back as I could remember, we'd driven a series of used Toyota Corollas and Coronas. Remember those? For years, we had 2 Corollas in the garage. He didn't have any special love for Toyota. They were cheap, and available. Anyway, one day, he bought a brand new Dodge sedan. I'm afraid I don't remember the model, but it was shiny, silver, and it talked. That's right, it talked. It would tell you helpful things in a robot voice. Like, a door is ajar, or, the fuel is low. We were officially living in the future. And it was the good life. No more cheap, used imports for us. We were driving an American flagship. Over the next several months, virtually everything that could go wrong did. The automatic transmission shifted like a kicking mule. The dealer said, that's how it's supposed to work. On particularly cold, or hot days, it might not start. The dealership said, we can't replicate the problem. Quote, little things, like the glove box latch and the chrome plastic trim broke. Finally, one day, we were on a long trip. Mid-journey, the car proclaimed, the wiper fluid is low. That's weird, said Dad. I just filled that the other day. The wiper fluid is low, reiterated the car. How many times is it going to say that? Quote, asked Mom. The wiper fluid is low, insisted the car. We drove down the interstate, being reminded of our wiper fluid deficiency every few seconds for about 40 miles until Dad pulled over at a filling station and checked the wiper fluid. It was not low. The car refused to believe this. No amount of additional fluid would dissuade it of its delusion. We were hundreds of miles from home on our way to a vacation. So we spent the next several days listening to the car complain. When we finally got home, Dad took the car straight to the dealership. They were perplexed, and eventually decided that they'd need to send away for parts. My father was a generally calm man. But when sufficiently angered, his wrath was considerable. I don't know what he said to the manager of the Dodge dealership. But the way he said it resulted in us driving home later that day in a shiny new Camry from the lot across the street. We never spoke of the Dodge again. Our Camry never spoke about anything. And that was just fine. The early 2000s were not a good time for American cars in general. though some exceptions do exist. But speaking as a former Dodge mechanic, yes, those Intrepids were shit. I'm scared to buy a Kia, gangs are stealing them. I heard you can start one with a phone charger. I watched one of the banned videos and was alarmed at how easy it was. A friend has a Kia. She says the saving grace is that it's a stick shift, so it's unlikely to get stolen. It doesn't matter. My coworker had a 2002 Kia car and Kia boys tried to steal it but didn't work. They left a lot of damage to this car. She didn't get it back for 2 months due to backorder on many parts. My mom's Kia got stolen this year. It was stolen off the Kia lot while it was there getting the AC fixed. Woman facepalming medium skin tone found it a few weeks later in some parking lot across town completely trashed. I'm honestly a little surprised the Kia stealing gangs aren't mass hitting the dealerships. Literally run in with 40 people. One person busts the gate lock. Everyone else grabs a Kia and scatters in random directions across the city. I bet if dealerships were getting cleaned out, Kia would put a fix out pretty damn fast. Anything by Tesla. They don't have any quality control. I have nothing against EVs, but Tesla is a pile of shit. Quality control is a joke. And the Tesla fanboys are just as bad as the Apple fanboys. Owning a single product is not a fucking lifestyle. Between liberals hating Elon Musk and conservatives hating EVs, it makes me wonder how big the potential demographic is for new Teslas. Scrolled thought a lot of the comments. Never seen Toyota or Honda mentioned. For good reason. Okay, one person mentioned Toyota for looks. But no one should really care much about that. Yep. The Japanese know how to make bulletproof cars. I've gotten well over 200k miles on all my Toyotas and Hondas with minimal maintenance. My 2005 Corolla has over 300k miles. I am not sure what the exact number is as the odometer stopped working at 299,999. I was so disappointed to not witness the odometer hit 300,000. Turns out, this is a somewhat common issue. Dodge or Jeep? I got a 2022 Jeep Wrangler 4xe that cost over $70,000 when you include taxes and fees. Jeep recently sent me a recall notice that said they're catching on fire, but they offered no solution. They just sent me the letter to inform me. The letter said to not charge my car. So I bought an electric vehicle and I'm not able to charge it. I couldn't believe what I read. The fact that they didn't offer a fix or solution is crazy. I couldn't believe what I read. The fact that they didn't offer a fix or solution is crazy. The fact you bought a Jeep as an electric vehicle says everything. Just stay away from Stellantis, period. Made the mistake of buying a Dart, new motor and transmission before 40k miles, never again. My cousin bought a Dart. It caught fire. Not even shitting you. Jeep. Just. Empty. Every. Pocket. Just enough engine power. I judge people who own Jeeps, because the info is everywhere they're terrible vehicles. Edit if you love your Jeep or have had good experiences, awesome. But going off Consumer Reports and every reputable source I've ever read, they're not a good choice for 95% of the people I know who own or want one. Also, they're off-road vehicles and most people use them for their daily commute. It's like my buying an F350 or something when I don't tow or haul anything often enough to need to own one. This thread is seriously making me reconsider my new car purchase at the start of the new year. If you do plan to buy a new car, January is one of the worst times. I've had success buying new and used cars at dealerships late in the year when they are trying to clear the lots for the next year's model. I've also read that the end of the month and the end of the quarter are good times. 100%. Buy in December. Dealers want to get rid of their inventory. I work in the legal department of a company that deals with automotive repairs. The vehicles that break down the most where the owners are assholes and complain enough to get to my department. Range Rovers. I love all things British, but those vehicles are made of Ford parts glued together with arrogance. Also breaking down lots. Dodge Ram trucks, Ford F-150 and F-250s, BMWs, and Jeeps. Unless you like your mechanic a lot, get a Honda or a Toyota. They're just better cars, period. My uncle is a die-hard, American-made kind of dude. Only buys American trucks. Has always had 3 or 4 Ford and Dodge trucks, SUVs. He rotates them because something is always busted in 1 or 2 of them. He doesn't even use them to work. He just has them. Whenever I go to his house, there are always a couple of them covered with a tarp on his driveway, waiting to get repaired. He wanted to sell me one for dirt cheap. I kept saying no. I figured that either the trucks are absolutely garbage, or he's the unluckiest dude ever to always get trucks that are fully ripped lemons. What's funny is that Toyota trucks are actually made in the United States while the big 3 have mostly moved to Mexico. Range Rover. I had a special Kensington edition with hand-stitched leather, Burlwood walnut interior trim, and excellent sound system with 12 speakers. Beautiful car and felt like I was driving around in a luxurious living room. It had constant electrical problems, so I had to take it back to the dealer frequently. Warranty covered repairs. But I was unable to drive the damn thing a lot of the time I owned it. It also guzzled gas and the sunroof leaked, which ruined the headliner and it had to be replaced. A Range Rover was a nice car, when it worked, but too much of a hassle. No one could figure out how to make electronics leak oil until the Brits took a crack at it. Best quote I've ever read about British cars. James Bond's Aston Martin DB5 is the only Aston Martin equipped with a switch to release an oil slick behind. All the others have a constant flow. Morons will keep buying them simply for the status, so RR won't invest any capital to redesign. I am one of those morons. Has it been a wonderfully efficient and stable car? No. But, do I look cool driving my kids around in it? Also no. Follow me for more life advice. I have contained my rage for as long as possible. But I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves. Begone, vile man. Begone from me. A starter car. This car is a finisher car. A transporter of gods. The golden god. I am untethered, and my rage knows no bounds.